Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from our intermission from our live stream last night to Northern Perspective.
Yeah, I hope you're all well rested and ready for this announcement.
See, I didn't even get a chance to put my water bottle away from last night. So there you go. Anyway, as predicted last night, Justin Trudeau is announcing his resignation. He has asked the Governor General to prorogue Parliament, allegedly until March 24th. Why?
Leadership race, no doubt.
Well, but here's the thing. That leaves a couple days to get through a potential supply bill to actually fund the government, right? And this is what we talked about.
That's assuming that the opposition parties vote confidence in them on the throne speech when they get back.
100%.
And they know that. The opposition parties know that. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Well, the other interesting thing is there's a 90-day, I guess, window for a Liberal leadership race. That can't be completed in time for March 24th. So the Liberals, they're in a pickle. Like and that's one of the political analysts said. It seems, I think it was Nick Nanos. He said the Liberals literally seem to screw up everything that they do. And he said, are they really about to screw up the resignation of Justin Trudeau? Well, I guess they are. So we will see what happens. Since this is going to be live, everybody, we may pause now and then to offer some commentary, but we're going to keep it as live as possible. Supers will be read
at the end.
We
will go over the 3 rules of the chat. Number 1, please respect each other and the platform. That includes everybody in the chat and everybody on screen, Ryan and I as well. Number 2 is no selling, soliciting, or spamming in the chat. And number 3 is please don't use profanity.
So one question, early election. So at this point, it's unavoidable that there's going to be an early election. So everyone, all the black pillars out there, not in the stream, but all the black pillars out there saying Trudeau will never resign. He's going to remain a dictator. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. No, as we've been saying for months and months and months now, there's going to be an election this year. Trudeau is going to go away. The Liberals are going to go away. And this is just how it's going to work out. So here we are. This is step 1 of that, folks. Although, is this happening the way we want it? No, but at least it's starting to happen, right? That's the thing to take from this. We wouldn't ideally, we don't want prorogation. Ideally, would love to see Pierre and Justin Trudeau go at it in a debate so Justin Trudeau can get trounced, but it's not going to happen, so it is what it is. But I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I have a feeling that Justin Trudeau hasn't spoken with the Liberal Party executive about this. He's just doing it the way he's doing it in what's in his best interest. So we're probably going to see a lot of drama from the Liberal Party play out in public over the next couple of months. So that might be very entertaining.
So I saw a question in the chat about whether or not certain bills will be dying. It is to our understanding that private members' bills, those that start with C200 and higher, do not die. They just are kind of paused during prorogation. But any government bills, so that's anything that's bill C4 numbered up to C199, those bills do die unless they have received royal assent.
So, for example, C63 is gone.
Yeah.
That will disappear. Now, even the private members' bills, it doesn't really even matter because once they come back from prorogation and Parliament kind of restarts, there's going to be a confidence vote. And it's a good probability that the government will fall then anyway. So which means at that point, all the private members' bills will completely disappear. So, and
that's assuming that it is prorogued. So far, we've only heard rumors. We don't know what Trudeau's going to say when he stands up to that mic. So we're just assuming that prorogation is going to happen. But in the event of prorogation, yes, all of the bills do die. All of the government bills do die. Private members' bills are just kind of paused.
And this means that our theory last night about Trudeau proroguing today, so the committee meeting is canceled tomorrow, that would also take place as well, meaning the termination of the committee. So there will be no committee, there will be no non-confidence.
So no live stream tomorrow, but you're getting it today.
There you go. So
again, assuming that things are prorogued.
So we're just going to switch views here. So this is right outside Rideau Cottage, which is where the Prime Minister's new home is, because he doesn't want to live in the home of his childhood on Sussex. So
you gotta adjust your seat a little bit.
No.
Other way? Other way. Alrighty. So this is across from Rideau Hall, if I'm not mistaken.
This is right.
So,
Yeah, correct.
So that means that if the Governor General did grant prorogation, well, she's right across the street.
Right. So a lot of interesting things could happen out of this, but at least we know that all of the worst fears of everybody, that Trudeau may prorogue until June and then force an October election, not going to happen. Most likely, the election is going to happen in either March or May. That's April or May. That seems to be the most likely scenario playing out here. Word is that Justin Trudeau intends on staying on as the interim prime minister, which is going to be a joke when he's dealing with Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is dealing essentially with a dead man walking, because it's like, if you've ever been working at an organization, imagine you said, "Hi everybody, I'm quitting in the last 2 weeks from now." Okay, so I know not to rely on you for any work whatsoever in the last 2 weeks.
Well, if you have bad work ethic, perhaps.
Well, but here's Justin Trudeau, who's taken more vacation than probably all the other prime ministers combined. Don't
Very
quote me
true.
on that.
Very true. Now, we're seeing that we've got over 6,500 people in the chat and only 1,300 likes. So if you could please hit the like button for us, it helps push the stream out. It lets YouTube know that this stream is worth watching, and hopefully more people can come join us.
So not only is Justin Trudeau late for work all the time, he's also late to leave work for his resignation, since he's 5 minutes late. So there you go. But Travis, he won't do it. Well, what do you expect him to do?
He's kind of backed into a corner at this point.
He's not going to come out and say April Fools, everybody.
Yeah, a little early for that.
New
Year's Fools, I don't know.
Yeah, this is it, folks. This is it. It would literally shock the entire journalism landscape if he came out and didn't announce his resignation. So, but this is going to be how it goes. So we're up to 7,700 viewers, 2,600 likes. Keep smashing that like, everybody, so we can beat CBC's numbers. That would definitely help. Love to give it back to them after their copyright claim on us.
We have a super chat from Mike Banlett, $2 super chat. It says, "This is like a nightmare that just will not end. I think the end is in sight. From what we're hearing from insiders, it sounds like the end is very, very close."
Yeah, and although it's going to be frustrating to see what happens over this quote-unquote leadership race, it's also going to be somewhat enjoyable to see the Liberal Party self-implode as this happens, because there's going to be a lot of public statements by the would-be hopefuls. It depends on how much Christy Clark out of BC, who hasn't been involved in the federal government, but she has announced her interest to be leader of the Liberal Party. Mark Carney, Chrystia Freeland, depends if Dominic LeBlanc has any aspirations of this. Depends on what the New York Times article about Melanie Jolie. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens and who throws their hat into the ring. But it's also going to be crazy to see what happens with the Liberal Party itself. They're going to have to bend their rules, make up new ones in order to actually hit this March 24th deadline. The other option, and Michelle Rumpel-Garner suggested this, is that the party executive just appoints a new leader without a democratic process. That wouldn't look very good as well.
No, that wouldn't.
So, but the other problem is that would be their best option in order for somebody to actually try to engage with voters over the next couple of months. So they're screwed.
They waited too long. Like they let this car crash in slow motion, and they let it crash all the way. We have Thunderpants and Shane Mass, time lapse unedited, both joining NP supporter. Thank you very much. And Chris B with a member comment for 4 months. Hit the like button, everybody. Yes, please do. Since you did, we've gotten I think about 2,000 more folks in the chat. So
absolutely.
Please make sure you hit that like button.
And Mike Bamlett with oh no, you already got that one. Yep. Fuster Cluck with a $7 super chat. Thank you very much. Dudu with a $10 super chat. If Trudeau resigns, we need to start petitions to have Trudeau criminally charged for all Trudeau scandals. It's a long shot, but worth a try.
Yep, you'll have to wait until Parliament resumes. I mean, I guess you could technically do it now, but when Parliament is dissolved, the petition dies. So you really run that risk of it not being read in the House. The best thing I think to do in this case would be to wait until the Conservatives form government and then start the petition from there.
But also, write letters to your Conservative MPs,
Yeah.
to your Conservative candidates to say that this is what I want to see in the new government.
Absolutely. It's just that you don't want to go to all the work of generating a petition.
To have
Because
it
it
die.
is quite a bit of work. Like, we were probably working on it for 2 or 3 weeks before we
dropped
presented it, because that was all the background work required. So you don't want to go to all that work just to have it fail because the House has been dissolved.
Miles with the 279 Super Chat, early election. That's
Sounds
what it
like
looks like. Nikki Hensel, Rebel,
Woo woo.
with a $5 super sticker. Thank you very much. Craig Kwan with a $5 super chat. Looks like I was right. I thought he would December 23rd to January 6th when Freeland blew everything up. Yay. And there you go.
Yay, indeed. The end is in sight.
Short Sack with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Ryan, Tanya, and team for assisting in the education of Canadians, pushing this mess to an end. Much respect. Thank you so much for that. Michael N with a $5 super chat. Election will be called March 24th. Justin Trudeau will be candidate now that he has prorogued. His narcissism will not let him walk away. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't think he's going to be able to do that.
YouTube skipped this one from Dudu. It says, or should I say it will be open season on Trudeau to get petitions going to have Trudeau criminally charged. Still, I know it's a long shot, but never know unless we try. That's right. And absolutely do try. Like, if that's something you're passionate about, absolutely get a petition started. Again, my recommendation is just to wait until the Conservatives form government, because if you start the petition now, let's say, and then we go to election and that petition's not finished and presented to the House, it won't get presented to the House.
So the likes are working, everybody. We gained another 1,000 viewers by the extra 700 likes. So keep that going. We're still about 5,000 likes behind. So let's see if we can break our record of 11,000 viewers on a stream. Looks like we have a good chance of that. So please smash that like button, ring that doorbell, put your feet up, grab your beverage of choice, and grab your popcorn. It's about to get interesting. Mr. G with a 279 super chat. Go figure, he's at a cottage, right? Or is it a chalet? Claude Barrett with a $5 super chat. It's actually a chalet. Amazing. Amazing. Well
Nice.
played.
Good job, guys.
LJ with a $5 super chat. Would the Governor General have already granted or denied prorogation? Allegedly, she's already granted it, but again, let's see what Justin Trudeau says. DanDeman966 with a $5 super chat. So even if they choose another leader, do you think it will change polling for the Liberals? I think if they did, polls won't change. It will.
It will
change.
help a little, I think, but I don't think it's going to stop a Conservative majority.
It's like when you change a hockey coach.
The team doesn't instantly get better.
Well, it
improves a little, but they're not going to be winning the Stanley Cup.
No, there's a blast of energy. They do well for a little bit, and then it kind of settles in.
Because I mean, look what happened in the States, right?
But here's the challenge: if Trudeau does stay on as interim leader, their polling may drop even more because of how things are being handled, and it depends on how the whole squabble happens.
I think YouTube skipped this one from Brandon R. It says Trudeau saw the Peterson Polyev chat and thought, "Oh, so that's what I was supposed to do. I think I'll vote Conservative in the next election."
There you go. Maybe he's running for Conservative leader at this point.
He could try.
Midi-chlorian member for 10 months. I don't think this would have happened as soon if it wasn't for the help and hard work from you two, Ryan and Tanya. Well,
we all did it together as
this
Canadians.
is Team Canada.
We might be the ones sitting here in front of the microphone doing the talking, but you guys are the ones doing the work in your communities. You guys are the ones that are speaking to your family members, your friends, your neighbors. You guys are the ones supporting this movement. Sharing
our videos, liking them, talking to other people, writing letters to MPs. This is a team effort, so thank you very much. Andre Cardinal with a $20 super chat. Thank you very much. Lost Viking. Trying to get through as many of these as possible.
If he prorogues, does Jagmeet get his pension?
Yes, he does.
Yes, prorogation counts towards pension eligibility.
Yeah. Thumper Dude with a $14 super chat. Thank you very much. Goko Donnie, good to see you with a $5 super chat. Getting closer to a sweet birthday gift. Let's get an election called now. We're working on it.
Happy birthday.
James Young with a $5 super chat. If he full on pulls a Wolf of Wall Street, I'm not effing leaving. I wouldn't be surprised. That would be probably one of the most famous moments in Canadian news history.
The party would be destroyed. They would be lucky to get any seats in the next
100%.
election if that were the case. I don't think that's what's going to happen just based on kind of the rumors that have been swirling up until this point. But hey, you never know.
Jenna Smith with a $5 super chat. I wanted to vote him out, but he would never let that happen. Here you go. Kevin Watson with a $5 super chat.
Well,
no, they're just putting down his remarks.
They're just prepping? Okay.
January 6th, going to be known as National Holiday Anti-Communist Day. Short
right.
Sack with a $5 super chat. Somebody get Chuck on the horn and put an end to this gong show. Why do the LPC get to continue this mess on our time? Well, and
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's what
Absolutely.
you're probably going to hear from the Conservatives. You may even hear that from the NDP, and you may hear that from the Bloc.
Yeah.
So that would be the smart political play for them to do. Proud Grammy with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Ryan and Tony, for covering this live. Fantastic to be here with NP Nation for this.
Yes, this is historic. We're all witnessing history together.
Yeah, and we do have a hard stop at 1 o'clock, but
Well, a little before 1 o'clock, but maybe 10 too.
Yeah.
But
Trudeau's press conference isn't going to go that long.
No.
I guarantee. I'd be so shocked if he took questions.
I was just going to say that I doubt he's even going to take questions.
Yeah.
But
they're still going to try and ask him, but I doubt.
Oh, of course they will.
Daniel T with a $14 super chat just had a funny thought. Given that Trudeau still thinks he can beat Pierre, it would be hilarious if he dissolved Parliament and called an election. Wouldn't that be fun? And then everyone is like, "What is going on?"
So we've officially passed our record number of watchers. We're sitting at 11,729. So that is a new record for NP Nation. Thank you very much, everybody. Please hit the like button to help support the channel.
And we're still about 5,000 likes behind. So please click that like button. Let's push that up even more. Let's beat CBC.
2 minutes, I just heard.
So a glitched Evie with a $5 super chat. As an American, at least your head of state is resigning in person last minute instead of via tweet last minute. Anyways, glad Trudeau's gone. Yeah. Mr. Roscoe Pico with a $5 super chat. Trudeau is late, probably seeing if he can quit over a Zoom call. Well played.
I don't want to do it in person.
And Christine Hayward with a $1 super chat. Thank you so much. Sneaky Pete Vaporizers with a $2.79 super chat. NP greater than CBC. Thank you.
We do what we can.
And we're at 12,280 now. So keep those likes coming. It's bringing more people in. Thank you very, very much. DW with a $7 super chat. Thank you very much. Listless Receptionist with a $5 super chat. Choose your own adventure politics. Which ending will you get? Also, thanks, NP. Thanks for joining us. And Canadian Highlander, welcome back to NP supporter. Krusty Canuck, great to see a member for 18 months. Good riddance, but there will be more stalling, filibustering, etc. Yeah, there's going to be drama, absolutely. Krusty Canuck, a former armed forces veteran, thank you very much for your service, sir. He has his own podcast, the Krusty Canuck podcast, that you can check out, where he gives his unfiltered view on Canadian politics and current events. Chris Hazard, member, welcome back to...
Oops, there goes the paper. Oh. Whoopsies. You guys didn't think that was
there. And it's all gone. Oh my God, here he comes, no! And it's all gone.
He can't do it.
Where's my paper, everybody? And it keeps going.
Oh, man.
To do this again. Bon matin. Every morning I've woken up as Prime Minister. I've been inspired by the resilience, the generosity, and the determination of Canadians. It is the driving force of every single day I have the privilege of serving in this office. That is why, since 2015, I've fought for this country, for you, to strengthen and grow the middle class. Why we rallied to support each other through the pandemic, to advance reconciliation, to defend free trade on this continent, to stand strong with Ukraine and our democracy, and to fight climate change and get our economy ready for the future. We are at a critical moment in the world. Mes chers Canadiens, à chaque matin, je me suis réveillé en tant que Premier ministre, inspiré par la résilience, la générosité et la détermination qui nous caractérisent si bien en tant que Canadiens. C'est ce qui me motive à chaque jour où j'ai le privilège de servir dans ce poste. C'est pourquoi, depuis 2015, je me suis battu pour ce pays, pour vous, pour renforcer la classe moyenne. Pourquoi nous nous sommes mobilisés en tant que Canadiens pour se soutenir les uns les autres pendant la pandémie, pour faire progresser la réconciliation, pour défendre le libre-échange sur notre continent, pour notre soutien inébranlable de l'Ukraine et de la démocratie, et pour lutter contre les changements climatiques et préparer l'économie de l'avenir.
Is this
Nous
better, guys?
traversons
Is this
vraiment
getting better?
un moment critique dans le monde. My friends, as you all know, I'm a fighter. Every bone in my body has always told me to fight because I care deeply about Canadians, I care deeply about this country, and I will always be motivated by what is in the best interest of Canadians. And the fact is, despite best efforts to work through it,
Okay, people saying better.
Parliament has been paralyzed for months after what has been the longest session of a minority parliament in Canadian history. That's why this morning I advised the Governor-General that we need a new session of Parliament. She has granted
it's
this
prorogation.
request, and the House will now be prorogued until March 24th. Over the holidays, I've also had a chance to reflect and have had long talks with my family about our future. Throughout the course of my career, any success I have personally achieved has been because of their support and with their encouragement. So last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today. I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process. Last night I asked the President of the Liberal Party to begin that process. This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election. Mes chers amis, comme vous savez, je suis un fighter. Dans mon fort intérieur, je me suis toujours battu parce que je me soucie profondément des Canadiens. Et je serai toujours motivé parce qu'il est dans le meilleur intérêt
9
des
years,
Canadiens.
folks. 9 years.
Et le fait est que malgré tous les efforts déployés pour passer à travers, le Parlement est paralysé depuis des mois, après ce qui a été la plus longue session d'un Parlement minoritaire dans l'histoire de notre pays. C'est pourquoi ce matin, j'ai rencontré la gouverneure générale pour lui faire savoir que nous avions besoin d'une nouvelle session du Parlement. Elle a accédé à ma demande et la Chambre sera donc prorogée jusqu'au 24 mars. Pendant le temps des fêtes, j'ai également eu l'occasion de réfléchir et d'avoir de
for those
longues
who don't speak
conversations
French, he's
avec ma
basically saying the
famille
exact same thing he just said in
quant à
English.
notre avenir. Tout au long de ma carrière, tout le succès que j'ai eu personnellement est dû à leur soutien et à leurs encouragements. Donc hier soir, au souper, j'ai partagé avec mes enfants la décision que je partage avec vous tous aujourd'hui. J'ai l'intention de démissionner de mon poste de chef du Parti libéral du Canada et de Premier ministre une fois que le parti aura choisi son prochain chef à l'issue d'un processus national, rigoureux et compétitif. Hier soir, j'ai demandé au président du parti de commencer les étapes nécessaires. Le pays mérite un choix clair et réel lors des prochaines élections. Et il est devenu évident pour moi que si je dois me concentrer sur des batailles internes, je ne peux pas être la meilleure option lors de ces élections. Le Parti libéral du Canada est une institution importante dans l'histoire de notre grand pays et de notre démocratie. Un nouveau premier ministre et chef du parti portera les valeurs et les idées du Parti libéral dans la prochaine élection. J'ai hâte d'observer le déroulement de ce processus dans les mois à venir. Nous avons été élus pour la 3e fois en 2021 pour renforcer l'économie après la pandémie et faire progresser les intérêts du Canada dans un monde complexe. Et c'est exactement ce que je vais continuer à faire, ce que nous allons continuer à faire pour les Canadiens. The Liberal Party of Canada is an important institution in the history of our great country and democracy. A new Prime Minister and leader of the Liberal Party will carry its values and ideals into that next election. I'm excited to see the process unfold in the months ahead.
I'm sure you are.
We were elected for the third time in 2021 to strengthen the economy post-pandemic and advance Canada's interests in a complicated world. And that is exactly the job that I and we will continue to do for Canadians. Merci beaucoup, mes amis.
Thank you, Prime Minister. We'll now go to questions.
They
Starting
are taking
Oh.
questions.
Canada.
Bonjour,
Surprising.
Vous vouliez le faire, ce combat contre Pierre Poilievre.
very
Des
surprising
batailles
he's taking
internes, il y en a
questions.
dans votre parti depuis plusieurs mois déjà. Pourquoi est-ce que vous décidez d'abdiquer maintenant? Qu'est-ce qui vous a fait changer d'avis?
All I caught was, why are you deciding
Comme
to
vous
stop
savez, je
right
suis pas
now?
quelqu'un qui recule facilement devant un combat, surtout un combat si important pour le parti et pour le pays. Mais je
It's the
fais
right
ce
decision
job
for the party and the country, I think.
parce que l'intérêt des Canadiens et le
The interests
bien-être
of
de notre
Canadians.
pays, de notre démocratie, me tient à cœur. Et c'est devenu clair que je ne peux pas être le chef dans les prochaines élections à cause des batailles internes.
Something about the next election. I don't really speak French very well. I just catch a word here or
As
there.
you all know, I am a fighter, and I am not someone who backs away from a fight, particularly when a fight is as important as this one is. But I have always been driven by my love for Canada, by my desire to serve Canadians, and by what is in the best interest of Canadians. And Canadians deserve a real choice in the next election. And it has become
What is
obvious
that supposed
to
to
me
mean?
with the internal battles that I cannot be the one to carry the Liberal standard into the next election.
Vous êtes au pouvoir depuis près de 10 ans. Le Canada a changé
Basically
avec
saying
votre
it's not me, it's the
gouvernement.
Liberal Party that's the problem.
S'il y a une réalisation que vous pourriez nommer, dont vous êtes le plus fier, je sais qu'il y en a plusieurs, mais s'il y en a une, et peut-être un regret aussi.
En 2015, on a été élu sur une promesse de travailler pour la classe moyenne dans ce pays. Et c'est ce qu'on a pu faire. On a réduit la pauvreté, on a aidé énormément les familles, on a créé une économie qui fonctionne pour bien plus de monde en se préparant pour un avenir et plus numérique et où les changements climatiques vont avoir un plus grand impact. On a fait énormément de travail avec les Canadiens. Le Canada est meilleur à cause du travail que nous avons tous fait au cours des dernières années. Un regret, je continue à penser que si
Yeah, do you have any regrets?
notre
I regret
système
to think
électoral aurait été changé pour
Something.
que les gens puissent mettre un premier, un deuxième, un troisième choix sur le bulletin, les partis auraient passé plus de temps à regarder les points qu'ils avaient en commun pour être les deuxième ou troisième choix des voteurs plutôt que de voir la polarisation que nous avions. Mais je ne pouvais pas de façon unilatérale changer notre mode de scrutin dans ce pays.
Next question.
We got elected in 2015 to fight for the middle class, and that's exactly what we've done over the past years.
You mean fight the middle
Okay.
class?
Taxes, we increased the benefits to families, we made sure the economy was focused on working for everyone and not just a few, and that has changed. That has dropped poverty rates in Canada, that has
No, it
brought
hasn't.
more people
Wow.
into the workforce, that has moved us forward on reconciliation in a way that has deeply
Gaslighting
improved
to the end, folks.
opportunities and success of Canadians despite the incredibly difficult times the world is going through right now. There's lots
Even on
more
his
work
way
to be
out,
done, and I
he's
know
making up stats.
That's what I mean.
this party
Gaslighting
in
to
this
the end.
country
Yeah.
and Canadians will keep doing it. If I have one regret, particularly as we approach this election, well, there are probably many regrets that I will think of, but I do wish that we'd been able to change the way we elect our governments in this country so that people could simply choose
What?
a second choice or a third choice on the same ballot.
Okay.
So that parties would spend more
You-
time trying to be people's second or
Okay.
third choices.
You guys had the chance.
And
Yeah, I'm sorry.
people would have been looking for things they have in common instead of
You-
trying to polar.
I have to stop that.
You guys abandoned ranked ballots. Like, you guys, it's your fault. We heard-
2 weeks. We heard from Bob Bertina, who's a former Liberal MP. 2 weeks after they took office in 2015, they announced that they were scrapping electoral reform, which they ran on in 2015. And you're saying 10 years later, my regret is that we didn't change that? You're the one who scrapped it.
Yep, because you guys thought that you guys would always be on top. Anyway, let's continue.
Yeah, let's get back to it. Oh, shit.
Did it crash?
No. Hold on.
Did you hit the wrong button?
Yeah, that's fine.
You said a swear.
Yeah,
Jester's gonna get you.
he is. I'm going to be banned. Where is my stupid mouse? It's right there. All right. Wow, we're doing well here, folks.
Really well.
Bonjour tout le monde.
Really well. Time out. Time out here, folks.
This is what happens when Ryan breaks stuff.
Yep.
Me with the internal battles that I cannot be the one to carry the Liberal standard into the next election.
Vous êtes au pouvoir depuis près de 10 ans. Le Canada a changé avec votre gouvernement. S'il y a une réalisation que vous pourriez nommer, dont vous êtes le plus fier, je sais qu'il y en a plusieurs, mais s'il y en a une, et peut-être un regret aussi.
En 2015, on a été élu sur une promesse de travailler pour la classe moyenne dans ce pays. Et c'est ce qu'on a pu faire. On a réduit la pauvreté, on a aidé énormément les familles, on a créé une économie qui fonctionne pour bien plus de monde en se préparant pour un avenir et plus numérique et où les changements climatiques vont avoir un plus grand impact. On a fait énormément de travail avec les Canadiens. Le Canada est meilleur à cause du travail que nous avons tous fait au cours des dernières années. Un regret, je continue à penser que si notre système électoral aurait été changé pour que les gens puissent mettre un premier, un deuxième, un troisième choix sur le bulletin,
So
les
I think we already
partis auraient
went
passé
over
plus
this
de temps à
part.
regarder les points qu'ils avaient en
Ils ont
commun
resté
pour
dans les
être les deuxième ou troisième choix des voteurs plutôt que de voir la polarisation que nous avions. Mais je ne pouvais pas de façon unilatérale changer notre mode de scrutin dans ce pays.
Next question.
We got elected in 2015 to fight for the middle class, and that's exactly what we've done over the past years. We reduced their
You're
taxes.
gonna make me
we,
listen to his lies again?
Increased the benefits to
Yep.
families. We made sure the economy was focused on working for everyone and not just a few. And that has changed. That has dropped poverty rates in Canada. That has brought more people into the workforce. That has moved us forward on reconciliation in a way that has deeply improved the opportunities and success of Canadians despite the incredibly difficult times the world is going through right now. There's lots more work to be done, and I know that this party and this country and Canadians will keep doing it. If I have one regret, particularly as we approach this election, well, there are probably many regrets that I will think of, but I do wish that we'd been able to change the way we elect our governments in this country so that people could simply choose a second choice or a third choice on the same ballot, so that parties would spend more time trying to be people's second or third choices and people would have been looking for things they have in common instead of trying to polarize and divide Canadians against each other.
Captain divisiveness.
Time
Jeez.
figuring out how to pull together and find common ground remains something that is really important for democracies. But I could not change unilaterally without support of other parties our electoral system. That wouldn't have been responsible.
Prochaine question. Tonda McCharles,
No, you would have needed a
Star.
referendum.
Prime Minister, up until 3 weeks ago, you were intending to stay, and it seems that the event 3 weeks ago of Ms. Freeland coming out and saying you were firing her as your finance minister was the catalyst that brought us here today. So can you explain your side of what happened there?
Chrystia has been by my side for close to 10 years now.
And I stabbed
She
her in
has
the back.
been an incredible political partner through just about everything we have done as a government and as a party over the past decade. I'd really hoped that she would agree to continue as my deputy prime minister and take on one of the most important files that not just this government but this country is facing.
Notice he didn't say
But she
finance
chose
minister.
otherwise. In regards
gross.
to what actually
I don't like Freeland,
happened,
but that's gross.
I am not someone who's in the habit of sharing private conversations.
Oh man.
Chrystia a été depuis presque 10 ans maintenant
Like, holy
à mes
crap,
côtés
man.
en tant que partenaire politique essentiel à presque tout ce qu'on a réussi en tant que gouvernement, en tant que parti. J'aurais vraiment souhaité
I don't know why
Can
she resigned after I
choisisse de
fired
continuer
her, but that
en
was
tant
her
que ma
choice.
vice-première ministre
Clueless.
et qu'elle prenne un des dossiers les plus importants auxquels les Canadiens et
So
notre
confusing
gouvernement
why
va faire
I
face
stab
dans
somebody in
les
the back
mois
and
à
then they
venir
quit. I don't
d'ici les prochaines
understand.
élections.
But you know, that's their choice.
Mais elle n'a pas voulu. Mais par rapport aux détails, je suis pas quelqu'un qui partage
No
les
sympathy for Chrystia Freeland, by the way.
détails de conversations privées.
You spoke about the Liberal Party as an institution and the internal battles right now, but I'm wondering if you feel that another leader will have more success than you will at beating Pierre Poilievre in the next campaign.
Nope.
Pierre Poilievre's vision for this country
Is austerity.
is not the right one for Canadians. Stopping
all
the
Canadians
fight
say.
against climate change doesn't make sense. Backing off on the values and strength in diversity that Canada has always worked to pull itself together on is not the right path for the country. Attacking journalists, the CBC institutions, that's not what Canadians need in this moment. We need an ambitious, optimistic view of the future, and Pierre Poilievre is not offering that.
Yes,
And
he
I look
is.
forward to the fight as progressives across this country stand up for the kind of vision for a better country that Canadians have always carried, despite the tremendous pressures around the world to think smaller, to veer towards the hard right, and to be less ambitious for what
'cause
we
smaller
can be
government
and do
is
as
a
a
bad
country
thing.
when the world really needs Canada.
Less freedom is a bad thing. Censorship is a good thing,
Is there
according to
another leader
Trudeau.
that could beat him?
Absolutely.
Sur le leader?
Oui.
Non, mais est-ce que vous...
Pierre
vous pouvez
Poilievre.
élaborer en français, s'il vous plaît, merci.
Pierre Poilievre a une vision profondément
Like,
petite et erronée pour ce pays.
this
Si
is really what
même
he's trying to say, folks, is
accepte
that
qu'il ait une vision.
we've done such a great job
Le
over the last
reculer
10
sur les
years that
droits
Canada is in the
fondamentaux,
state that it's in, and everybody
d'arrêter
hates me, and everybody
la
hates the Liberal
défense,
Party.
De la lutte
But the
contre les
Liberals are the
changements
way to go
climatiques,
forward. What?
de ne pas investir dans une économie plus verte, plus inclusive, de toujours chercher des divisions entre les Canadiens plutôt que de rassembler pour faire face à l'avenir de façon optimiste et ambitieuse. C'est pas le bon choix pour les Canadiens. Et j'ai hâte de faire partie, de continuer de faire partie d'un mouvement progressiste qui va envisager
give our
un
full
avenir
take after this
meilleur
is done,
pour les
folks.
Canadiens sur l'optimisme et le travail que les Canadiens ont toujours fait pour bâtir un monde meilleur.
Next question.
Hélène Buzetti, les cours d'information. Bonjour, M. Trudeau. Il y a 16 ans, en décembre 2008, Stephen Harper a prorogé le Parlement pour s'éviter un vote de confiance qu'il savait qu'il allait perdre parce que les 3 partis d'opposition allaient voter contre lui. Exactement comme la situation dans laquelle vous vous trouvez aujourd'hui. À l'époque, le chef libéral, Stéphane Dion, avait dit, puis je le cite ici, que c'était une entrave à la Constitution et un affront à la démocratie. Alors, j'aimerais savoir pourquoi ce qui était mauvais pour les conservateurs de Stephen Harper devrait être bon pour les libéraux de Justin Trudeau.
La
think
gouverneure
she's asking about
générale en
prorogation.
2008 avait correctement conclu que la Chambre venait juste d'accorder leur confiance de façon formelle au gouvernement de M. Harper.
He's talking about when
Malgré
Harper prorogued in 2008.
les- Malgré même une lettre signée qui était un
Because Trudeau
document
was extremely
politique.
critical of Trudeau
La
Harper
voix de la
proroguing, and
Chambre
Trudeau's done it
compte.
twice now.
Or, avant d'arrêter le travail à la Chambre pour les fêtes, on a gagné 3 votes de non-confiance, 3 votes de confiance, et nous allons devoir retester la confiance de la Chambre dès le mois de mars pour passer les éléments budgétaires nécessaires pour faire fonctionner le gouvernement. In 2008, the Governor General correctly concluded that because the very last times in the previous weeks that the confidence of the House had been tested, it had passed that confidence test. Stephen Harper continued to have the confidence of the House, and it actually would bear out because as soon as they came back from the prorogation, Stephen Harper won a confidence vote once again. So a political document or political speeches doesn't carry the kind of weight that winning a confidence vote means. But this prorogation will take us only into March, and there will be confidence votes in March in the passing of supply that will allow Parliament to weigh in on confidence in a way that is entirely in keeping with all the principles of democracy and the workings of our strong institutions.
Mais avec respect, M. Trudeau, y a-t-il pas quelque chose un peu antidémocratique de suspendre la possibilité du Parlement d'exprimer sa non-confiance le temps que votre parti se cherche un sauveur? Est-ce qu'il ne devrait pas plutôt
Don't you think it's
juste se
undemocratic
référer
for
aux électeurs et de déclencher dès maintenant une
confidence
élection?
Just
Hélène, je
to
pense
prorogue
que
Parliament.
tu as très clairement vu,
Our
comme
confidence
tout le
vote, I
monde
think.
dans la galerie de presse parlementaire, à quel point le Parlement ne fonctionne plus depuis plusieurs mois. On est pogné dans une question de privilège, il y a des motions d'obstruction constantes et on a pu très peu accomplir pendant les
cry.
derniers mois au Parlement. Le Parlement a besoin d'un reset, a besoin de se calmer un peu les pompons pour se remettre au travail pour les Canadiens et pas à faire de la petite politique constante, ce qu'on est en train de voir des conservateurs. Donc ce reset a 2 éléments. Une prorogation pour que justement on recommence avec une fraîche approche au Parlement. Et deuxièmement, oui, le Parti libéral va entamer un leadership parce que je m'attends à ce que si c'est pas moi qui va mener le parti dans les prochaines élections, la polarisation qu'on voit actuellement au Parlement devrait aussi se calmer un petit peu. Les Canadiens ont besoin d'un Parlement qui fonctionne. particulièrement dans ce moment complexe. Et ces deux éléments vont représenter le reset nécessaire pour le Parlement.
En anglais, mais si vous pouvez dire pourquoi pas une élection, vous l'avez pas dit.
The Parliamentary Press Gallery, and anyone who's been watching politics closely over the past months will know that Parliament has been entirely seized by obstruction and filibustering and a total lack of productivity over the past few months. We
Wonder
are
why.
right now the longest serving minority government in history, and it's time for a
You weren't a
reset.
minority. Come
It's
on. You
time
had the
for the
NDP.
temperature to come down, for the people to have a fresh start in Parliament, to be able to navigate through these complex times, both domestically and internationally. And the reset that we have is actually two parts. One is the prorogation, but the other part is recognizing that removing me from the equation as the leader who will fight the next election for the Liberal Party should also decrease the level of polarization that we're seeing right now in the House and in Canadian politics, and allow people to actually focus on serving Canadians in this House and with their work the way Canadians deserve.
On va prendre une dernière question.
Good morning, Prime Minister. Stephanie Taylor with the National Post. Given, as you just said, there's going to be confidence votes in March, opposition parties have said they are prepared to bring down your government. What kind of chances do you think you are leaving to your successor, given that there will only be mere weeks for them to introduce themselves to Canadians before heading into an election, potentially?
I have a tremendous amount of confidence in both Canadians and in parliamentarians' interest in serving Canadians in the right way. We're in a minority government right now, and there hasn't been an active leadership in a minority government in more than 50 years in this country. And there is always going to be the challenge of having a leadership race while a parliament would face confidence votes in the course of delivering supply to the government.
Are you admitting
So
it?
this is something that we're going to navigate through, but I truly feel that removing the contention around my own continued leadership is an opportunity to bring the temperature down, have a government that will focus on the complex issues that are coming forward in the coming months, while the party gets to have a full national process that brings in people from right across the country.
Yeah, only
and
Liberals.
makes a determination about the best person to carry the progressive
He said the
liberal
quiet part
standard
out loud. He shouldn't have
into
said
the
that.
next election.
He really shouldn't
Can
have
you
said that.
clarify whether ministers who would like to campaign for your job will have to step out of cabinet? And how can the Liberal government be in a position to protect Canadian businesses and Canadians from the threat of tariffs from incoming President Donald Trump when members of the government are going to be focused on who's going to be taking your job?
Great question.
The government
National
will
Post.
still, and the cabinet will
Of course.
still be very much focused on doing the job that Canadians elected us to do in 2021, which is fight for their interests, stand up for their well-being, and make sure that they are good and that Canadians are protected and strong. There will be a leadership process, and the rules will unfold over the coming weeks. But I can assure you that the tools and the need to stand up for Canadians, to protect Canadians in their interests and continue to fight for the economy is something that everyone in this government will be singularly focused on. Je peux souligner que évidemment les règles et les conditions du leadership du Parti libéral vont être discutées dans les semaines à venir, mais le gouvernement qui a été élu pour protéger les Canadiens et leurs intérêts dans un monde très complexe qui a été élu le plus récemment en 2021, va continuer ce travail avec un focus et une emphase singulière sur ce qui est dans les intérêts des Canadiens, pendant que le parti fait ce dont il a besoin pour avoir un processus de leadership.
Merci beaucoup. Ceci conclut la conférence de presse d'aujourd'hui.
Merci tout le
That's
monde.
it.
Merci d'être ici dans une belle journée d'Ottawa. Bonne journée.
Yeah, that's the
And
question
there you have
Canadians
it.
want to
Justice
know.
What do you say?
She asked something about if you're going to resign, why not earlier?
Yeah. Well, can't do that.
Right? You got to wait until the 11th hour, as it were. So, what was that thing you were saying near the end?
So one of the things that is a problem is that it's not a valid reason to prorogue Parliament in order to have a leadership race.
Especially 3.5 years in.
Right. So what Justin Trudeau was trying to give everybody out of the gate was this reason of, Parliament is seized, so we need to reset Parliament. We need to come in with a fresh agenda, et cetera, et cetera. That would be a valid reason, if not, one that everyone knows is completely false. But then he, goes on to say, and I need to remove myself and whatever. But then at the end, he said quite clearly that, we, we're one of the first minority parliaments in a long time. I think he said 50 years.
To run a leadership
that have had
race.
a leadership race. And having confidence votes during that is problematic. So this will also allow a leadership race to happen. And, he falsely says, Canadians across the country will be able to come in and select a new prime minister, which is completely disingenuous to say that. What he meant to say is we're going to be holding a Liberal convention and Liberal Party members from across the country will be allowed to come in and select the new prime minister.
Yeah, because you have to be part of the Liberal Party of Canada in order to vote on the leader of the Liberal Party of Canada. Somebody like Ryan, who's a card-carrying member of the Conservative Party of Canada, is not permitted to vote. So it's not entirely democratic, like not everybody can vote, but if you're a Liberal member, you can.
Well, and many people, probably even on this live stream, joined the Conservative Party in order to vote for Pierre Poilievre when he, was engaged in his leadership campaign for the Conservatives. So that was a big mistake for him to say that. And it's a mistake in that it's going to give all of the opponents of the political party a lot of ammunition to just hammer on the Liberal Party, on Justin Trudeau, and the Liberal Party of Canada as well, while this leadership race is going on, in saying, he's prorogued. So this will be the narrative from the Conservatives. He's prorogued Parliament to get away from the SDTC scandal. He's prorogued Parliament to get away from these investigations. He's prorogued Parliament in order to allow the Liberal Party of Canada to get its quote-unquote crap together, as Pierre Poilievre said on the interview with Jordan Peterson. And the business of an internal party shouldn't be carried out at the expense of the country. One should have nothing to do with the other.
Right,
so,
because Canadians now have no leadership. Nobody's in Parliament now that it's been prorogued. So what are we going to do when Trump is coming in on January 20th threatening all these tariffs?
Right.
What are we going to do when we've got budget that needs to be passed, or is it supplementary?
It's a supply bill.
A supply bill that needs to be passed before the end of March, because that's when the government fiscal year ends.
Well, and, I took a look at what some of the possibilities might be. So let's say they conclude the leadership race before March 24th, which good luck, Liberal Party of Canada. And the government falls immediately on that supply bill, right? Let's say that happens. What can happen during the period of a election campaign is the current prime minister can ask the governor general to provision, certain warrants to allow agencies to be funded in that case. So it doesn't mean the entire government will shut down. There are provisions for this possibility to allow the government to still function, to allow it to actually get money that it needs for the agencies to continue to do their job, for the military to continue to function, for the CRA to continue collecting taxes.
So if the government does fall from that throne speech when they come back in March, then things will continue and things will continue to be funded, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there's some kind of emergency provisions that the Prime Minister has available to them in order to ensure that agencies can still be funded. But that's it. Like they can't issue any new money. It's basically keeping the lights on. That's what
Status
they're
quo.
allowed to do.
Yeah.
Right. Now, what this also means is that current bills that are in progress, C-63 is dead.
Done. Like they can't even pick it up where it started. If they want this bill again, they have to reintroduce it all the way from the beginning at first reading, which I don't think is going to happen, not in this government.
Yeah. C-71, an act to amend the Citizenship Act. This was dealing with the lost Canadians. Gone.
That's problematic because I think the Supreme Court gave them until a certain date to say, okay, you have to have a plan for this disparity in citizenship. So you need to put a bill and you need to figure something out before, I think it was sometime in April. So they've already passed that. And actually, I don't recall if it was the Supreme Court or perhaps the Superior Court. Either way, one of the upper courts had given them this date, this deadline. And not only is the bill not put through by that point, they'll have to start straight from the beginning. So it's going to be very curious to see what actually happens with that, if there's going to be penalties or what the deal is going to be.
Yeah.
And we did a video on that. If you do search, I think it was Lost Canadians on our channel, you'll probably be able to find it.
There's another one, C-26, an act respecting cybersecurity. C-27, digital charter implementation.
What happens with the gun grab? Do we know?
So I believe that wasn't done through a bill.
That was an order in council, right?
I think so. So that is active. But the biggest threat to Canadian online freedom and online censorship is Bill C-63. That's
terminated.
That is now completely terminated. It's gone. They can't pick it up. Even if somehow the government survives the next confidence vote, they would have to vote as a House to bring that bill back to the point of where it was, and I don't think that's going to happen. With everything that's going to happen over the next couple of months, it would be political suicide for any of the other parties to vote for the Liberal government. So especially after Jagmeet Singh, declared it in writing what they were going to do, and especially after this timeline is now past what Peter Julian said to CBC a while back, that they're going to introduce their own confidence motion in early March. So that's what's going to happen there. Some other things. It was fascinating that Justin Trudeau continued his gaslighting until the end. It was also interesting to hear his answer to the question of, you're not really leaving your successor really any runway here. And underneath it, he was basically like, yeah, too bad.
Yeah, well, and then I don't recall if it was that question or if it was one previous to that, where he was saying like, oh, we've grown the middle class and we've pulled people out of poverty. He's looking at the statistics during COVID when poverty was at its lowest that it has been in a while. But currently for this year, I should say last year actually, 2024, poverty is estimated to be at 25%. That's 1 in 4 Canadians living in poverty. And the reason we say estimated is because the official numbers don't come out from StatsCan until 2 years later. So 2026, I think in May is when we'll receive them. But some news agencies, I think it was CTV, were reporting that it's 25%. That's huge. That's astronomical. And you just have to look around your cities, your neighborhoods, where people are living in tents now. Canadians are using food banks in record numbers. These are not signs of a prosperous middle class.
Well, and the other thing to consider in the answer for Trudeau of, you're not leaving your successor any wiggle room. His answer was essentially, well, I trust parliamentarians will do what's best for Canadians. Well, yeah,
they haven't done it yet.
That's basically him saying, I don't care. That's their problem. It's not my problem anymore. And this whole, if you were to distill down what he said, I translate it to be, well, because the Liberal Party is rebelling against me. It's not my fault. It's their fault. And I can't lead a party that continues to fight me. So That's essentially what that distills down into. He's not happy to do this, but the problem is
he's been painted into a corner.
Well, and he risks continued public embarrassment by the party, and he risks a 6-hour shellacking by his own party on Wednesday, where this national caucus meeting, would take place, where every single Liberal would get up to the microphone and say, "You're an idiot. You need to go." And then
you've ruined this party. You've destroyed the country.
Yeah,
et cetera,
and you hear this, like he would hear that for 6 hours, and then continue to hear that publicly on newscasts by all these Liberals, maybe even talking about what was said during the caucus meeting, in order to continue to amp up pressure for him to resign. So, for the sake of his ego, he didn't have any choice but to resign. So for all the naysayers and black pillars out there that he'd never resign and he's going to be dictator for life,
he just did.
He just did. Just did.
One other thing that I wanted to point out, one of the other bills that dies on arrival because of the prorogation is Bill C-65, and that was an act to amend the Canada Elections Act. This would have pushed the election in 2025, the set date. We can go to a snap election. In fact, we probably will go to a snap election. But this would have pushed the set election date back by 1 week, meaning almost 80 MPs would have qualified for a pension when they wouldn't have otherwise.
So that is now dead.
Gone.
And even though there's the private members' bills that survive prorogation in the state that they were at, again, it would be a huge shock to everybody, and I believe even the Liberals themselves, that they survived the confidence vote at the throne speech. They would be utterly shocked in order to survive that. So even those private members' bills, assuming that the government does fall and has a non-confidence vote that does not succeed in favor of the Liberal Party in March, all of those private members' bills go away as well, and then we go to an immediate election, and everything is dissolved. So, what else? What else is there? It's going to be interesting to see how Donald Trump and the United States reacts to this. Because
this is kind of crazy to me that the Prime Minister is like, well, I'm going to shut down Parliament and I'm out of here. Meanwhile, we have this threat of impending tariffs coming in like 2 weeks. See ya. Have fun.
There's a lame duck Prime Minister. He's essentially dead man walking. Why would you take that person seriously at all when all signs point to the fact that this guy, well, not signs, it's a certainty that this guy is not going to be leading the country shortly. And this party, by all signs, is not going to be leading the country within a couple of months. So you can't take anything that they say seriously in any sort of negotiations or conversations when it comes to something as contentious as potential tariffs coming into the Canadian economy and securing your border and controlling the trafficking of narcotics across the border. So it's going to be interesting to see how Trump and the United States react. Today was getting coverage all over the world. So the UK was covering it, the United States was covering it, CNN, Fox, everybody is
This is big.
talking about
this is really big. And what is this going to mean for a Conservative win in the upcoming election? I think it's going to narrow those margins. I really do. I think that there were many people who were saying, I like the Liberal Party, but I don't like what Justin Trudeau has done with the country, and I'm not voting Liberal because of Justin Trudeau. Those margins are going to narrow. But what we can do is we can support our local candidates. You can get involved, go door knocking, volunteer, offer to bang signs into the ground, whatever you can do to help support the party of your choice in the election. And that's going to make all the difference.
Well, and I am forced to think back to when we first started, not first started, but when we covered the whistleblower testimony in the SDTC. And when we were looking at that, Tanya and I were looking at each other, and Tanya had said,
this is going to bring down the government.
Yeah,
and it really did. That one man coming forward is what brought this government down.
Right. And he testified at committee for 2 to 3 hours. We cover that in, I think it's 4 videos where we unpack the entire committee. And we did 4 videos on it because it was so significant. So if you want additional context as to how Parliament became seized in the first place. A lot of it came from the work that the Conservatives did in committee up until that point on the SDTC scandal, but it was that meeting that caused the opposition parties to all agree, including the NDP, to call for all of the SDTC documents be sent to the RCMP, and that's where everything unraveled. The Liberal Party refused to give unredacted documents to the RCMP, and then a question of privilege was raised by Andrew Scheer, and the rest is history. Parliament was seized since.
It's the butterfly effect. So when you think, I'm only one person, what can I do? One person got the ball rolling, and this government just fell today. So don't ever underestimate what you can do.
I love that so many people are just typing one in chat. I'm just ask who's voting for Pierre in 2025. But it's I think it's also symbolic. One person doing something courageous, something that has high risk. They can change the course of a nation.
They absolutely can, and you can too.
So this is going to be very fascinating how this week unfolds. Committee tomorrow is terminated.
Canceled now that we're prorogued, so we will not have a live stream tomorrow, but we will be back to regular videos.
And there's going to be coverage, this way to Sunday, coming out this week, no doubt, from all over the world. So we are going to try and keep you as up to date as possible. Thanks everybody for joining us. We're going to get to the super chats now to catch up with those. But what a day in Canadian history. The ding dong, the clown is almost gone. So there you go. Okay.
I'm going to start at the top of my list. Yours, I don't know if it's showing all of them. So we'll start with Will Kowalchuk with $20 super chat. It says, this is all I can do after last night. Thank you to all in MP Nation. Love you all. Thank you very much for your generosity, Will. Will dropped 50 Northern Perspective memberships last night on our weekly live stream. So thank you so much, Will, and thank you for your continued support. This is from Suna Soul Silver. It says, I wish we could change our cabinets and our Governor General too. I can trust our government even though we get a new I can't trust our government even though we get a new Prime Minister. And you know what? The government should earn your trust, right? You shouldn't just give it over willingly. And the best way, I think, to see do they deserve my trust or not is to get involved. Democracy is not a spectator sport. Get involved with your local EDA, get involved with your local candidate, with your MP, get to know them and see, is this person deserving of my trust?
100%.
We have Reinhold Jan gifting, with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. And then we have P. White with a $12 super chat saying, thanks for your coverage, guys. Thank you for joining us. It's been our pleasure. We have Dennis Jaguar 99 saying, I like your channels and hope that you will continue with the same energy even after the election and you call the wrongdoing of anyone in politics. Thank you for your work.
And thank you all for smashing the previous Northern Perspective record of over 11,000 people on stream to 17,200 and some odds. And
we were saying this last night on our live stream, we absolutely will keep up with the politics and holding the government to account because we're on Team Canada. We're not on Team Conservative. We like the Conservatives right now because of what they're saying, what they're doing. We've had the privilege to meet many of them and they seem like very genuine people. But if they start doing crazy stuff the way the Liberals have been doing, that's not going to fly. It's not going to fly for us. It's not going to fly for Canadians.
Yeah, we're going to create a report card for the Conservatives based on everything that they're promising in their election platform, and we're going to hold them to it because that's what Canadians deserve.
We have Mustang_drummer with a $5 super chat. It says, Chance Trudeau announces an election instead of prorogation. I think that was just before the conference started. So unfortunately, the chance is now 0. We have Savage Silence gifting a super sticker, a white unicorn with rainbow hair. Very cool. Thank you very much. And then we have Kim Allen gifting another super sticker with a Shiba dog saying, good job, while raising up his thumb. We have Jilly Beans with a $2 super chat. He'll throw us all for a loop and not resign. Again, that was just before the press conference started. So unfortunately, that's incorrect. But I guess fortunately for us, he's gone. So We have Kat Ann with a $7 super chat. It says, can we take away his plain lane credit card and security clearance?
Well, not right now. After he's gone, we can.
This is a $5 super chat from Jason Barrett. It says, going now to wave a Canadian flag on the local highway overpass to celebrate. Always get a bunch of honks and waves when I do. This time is special. That's right. This time is special because it's a new chapter for Canada. The end of Trudeau's tyranny it's done. It's over. And we're stepping towards a new chapter after prorogation. I have no doubt that there's going to be an election. And I think it's going to mean a brighter future for Canadians. We have Kevin Finley with a $10 super chat. Thank you very much. And then we have Joshua Smith with a $7 super chat. Thank you. We have Dean Russell with a $13.99 super chat. Thank you, Dean. And then we have Warren Higginson with a $5 super chat saying the only reason Liberals would vote for Freeland is because they feel sorry for her. A sad reason to vote for someone.
Yep.
100%. Is yours caught up?
Not yet, but that's okay.
Okay.
Ginger Snap with a $10 super chat. I'm going to Cuba on Thursday. I will see him there, I assume.
We have George Schmidt joining NP supporter. Thank you very much.
And Pokey5587, Canada, it has a January 6th for the better. Let's go.
That's right. It's a very positive January 6th because Trudeau is out of here. We have Kelly Gabla joining NP supporter. And then we have the Colonel, a member from 9 months, saying, hello, hello, it's been a bit. Hope you are both well. As always, much love from Petawawa and keep up the amazing work. Pierre for PM. Absolutely. And Stephen C., member for 10 months, saying, gotta love it when the trash takes itself out. That's right. And Kit Kat Lisa, member for 9 months, saying, I hope he announces an immediate election just to spite his Liberal non-supportive colleagues.
And we have Richard Kerr with a $70 super chat. Thank you so much. I wouldn't be surprised if Trudeau tries to screw over the entire party for betraying him. Well, I think in a way he made it tougher on them because he set the prorogation date for March 24th, which goes against the Liberal Constitution of how they run their leadership races. So it puts the Liberal Party in a bind for sure.
We have Philip Croker with a $2 super chat saying maybe he ran and is on a plane to Cuba. Maybe. And then we have Meow Cell for 4 months, member for 4 months. It says, Ryan and Tina, congrats on viewership record. Let's celebrate with Justin crying all over CBC. And we also have Hugh Jass, member for 7 months, saying Trudeau has already left the country to claim his birthright as El Presidente of Cuba. Interesting. I think maybe he's got, like a half brother at least over there.
Who knows?
I don't know. I'm joking. Spiky Mikey 33 with a $5 super chat saying, funny if Pierre was front row for this. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. And Anna Martella with a $7 super chat saying, do you think the non-confidence presented in committee by the Conservatives forced the announcement today?
I think it was everything together.
Yeah, it was all of it combined. I think, again, Trudeau's just been painted into a corner and there's nothing else that he could do.
Yeah, and the Conservatives' job was to put more and more and more pressure on him, and they were finding ways to do that. So I think everything combined to actually force that.
We have Hypa with a $2.79 super chat. It says, hope Trudeau calls an election so Jag has no pension. Unfortunately, it sounds like he's prorogued Parliament until after Jag meets pension eligibility. So the guy gets his pension. I think, though, this is an important message for Canadians to be careful who we vote for because they get all the perks and benefits of being an MP, even if they don't deserve it.
Yep.
Rescue Me, Rubber Ducky, and James Young all joining NP supporter. Thank you very much. We have Trish Prue with a $7 super chat saying, waiting for the announcement to sing the right birthday song to my son. He loved the Mike from Canmore comment. Oh, that's right. It's your son Mike's birthday. So I hope he has an extra happy birthday now that Trudeau has stepped down and that we are even closer to an election than we were yesterday. This is from Unlimited Sonic. It says your new petition should be strip right honorable title from Trudeau and honorable titles to other Liberals who have decimated our country.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Interesting. This is from Mike Banlett with a $5 super chat. It says Frank Caputo, Shadow Justice Minister, sitting and rubbing his hands together. So it's Larry Brock now, who's actually the Shadow Justice Minister and the Attorney General, Shadow Attorney General. So,
but he's definitely rubbing his hands together.
yeah, I think they're all kind of salivating over the prospects here.
Yeah, they know that the work is just beginning, because once an election is called, everything shifts into high gear, and no doubt the parties are now going to be shifting their candidate selection processes into overdrive to finish up selecting who's going to be the actual candidates, because they need enough time to actually get to know their communities to make an impression.
We have Misfit Brothers with a $14 super chat saying, what can a non-functional prorogued government do against Trump tariffs? Do you think a recession is inevitable? Thank you both for your bravery and hard work.
It depends. As we mentioned on our live stream yesterday, Kevin O'Leary was advocating that Trump kind of back off and wait for the new election to come in before discussing the tariffs. So it all depends on how Trump is going to react to this. It would be diplomatic for Trump to say, okay, let's wait to see what happens.
We have Jason Talks with a $5 super chat. As a political refugee, I see this country restoring its promise. I ask all refugees to put Canada first. Thank you very much. Well said.
Very good message.
We have BPD and Breakup and
Codependency Recovery.
There you go. With a $14 super chat. Thank you very much. Kim Allen with a $14 super chat saying Canada first. Chris Cooks with a $10 super chat. Thank you very much. That's your first on a live stream. And we have X Drop Xerox X with a $5 super chat saying, oh, Trudeau, get off the cross. We need the wood.
Yeah, we need the wood to rebuild this country.
Yeah. Free Spatula with a $5 super chat saying, if you look closely in the background, there's Jagmeet in the bushes, wondering if anyone's allowed to mention he gets his pension now.
Yeah.
And we have Heartsinger with a $5 super chat saying, I will rely on your comments as I just can't listen to his gaslighting and lies. Had to mute less than 30 seconds in. I mean, it's rough, but after this, I don't think we're going to have to listen to him for very much longer, if at all. So that's the good thing.
Yeah, we may have to listen to Freeland, but we'll see what happens.
Sorry, guys. That's Phoenix Medicine Learn.
Melanie Hill with a $1 super sticker. Beaming face with smiling eyes. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. We have both Robert Waslick and John joining NP supporter. Thank you very much. And Chris Cooks with a $10 super chat.
Go ahead.
Chris Cooks with a $10 super chat saying, once again, he comes out of the gate by lying his butt off.
And Brian T with a $10 super chat. Thank you very much. John, welcome back to MP supporter. General Slim with a $10 super chat. Trudeau cares so deeply about Canadians. He's leaving the economy a smoking ruin and forcing us to wait months for an election in the face of crushing tariffs. Yeah, he's so nice, right? And Pam Herm with a $2.79 super chat. Your first on the live stream. Thank you very much. BPD breakup and... sorry, your name is really long.
It was codependency
and codependency recovery. Where did that go? With a 277 super chat. Finally, yes, indeed. Jilly Beans with a $2 super chat. Bill C63 is dead. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Jason Barrett with a $2 super chat. I wish Johnny Rowe was there with a bullhorn. Brad, welcome back to MP supporter. Thank you. Eric Schultz with a $2 super chat. So Trump has fired Governor Trudeau, right? And BPD breakup and codependency recovery with a $7 super chat. Today needs to become a national freedom holiday.
It sure does.
And Heartsinger with a $5 super chat, wondering where Canadians can sign a thank you card to President Trump.
I mean, you can always...
it's being passed around.
You can always mail one yourself.
D. Mercier with a 279 super chat. We want an election, not a resign or not a resignation. BPD breakup and codependency recovery. Love your channel. Thank you so much. And D. Mercier with a 279 super chat. Thanks, NP, for the stream. You're very welcome. NC with a $50 super chat. Thanks, NP, and congrats on the views. John and Nicole, we are Canadian Force veterans and love your channel, and we love Canada and want our country and citizens to be happy and beautiful. Again, thank you for your service. Thank you very, very much. And all veterans that may be watching or not watching, because we need to talk about our armed forces personnel a lot more than we do. Dudu with a $20 super chat, but I truly hope Trudeau gets put in the history books as he truly was a power-hungry dictator who tried to steal our freedom and civil rights. That way future generations can learn the warning signs and look past sweet lies.
Yeah, and I think I have a bad feeling that his son is being groomed for this position. So in like 20 to 30 years, when he tries coming around to be prime minister, we need to make sure that the younger generation remembers this. I mean, well, maybe not remember because they're probably not born yet, but they need to know about it so that this doesn't happen a third time.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times.
Yeah.
As Bush said, well, fool's not going to get fooled again. As he eloquently put that. Ham76 with a $10 super chat. How is it possible that even in his resignation, I feel cheated, robbed, and violated? He has taken so much and given nothing. The only thing he hasn't taken is ownership of his thievery.
Yeah, that's well said.
Well, I think a lot of information is going to come out shortly after the Conservatives take power and continue these investigations, from what we've been told. And Stellar and PD
Bulldogs
with a $7 super chat. Interesting. Lega Leisigar lounges for like-minded folks. Oh, and Trudeau sucks. Sean Lefty Legend, member for 11 months. English answer to first question. Here come the waterworks. Happy he's gone, but would have liked to see him go head-to-head with Pierre. Keep up the great work, guys. Yeah, I that would have been nice.
Yeah, it would have been epic.
And Denis Jaguar 99 with a $5 super chat, speaking like a true narc. Rich Meister 22, member for 16 months. He destroyed the middle class. What an absolute knob, yes. And Catherine English,
yes,
with a $10 super chat. Do you think Mark Carney will hire him? Can you imagine? Mark Carney should hire him as his financial advisor.
That would be a mistake.
Mr. Excuse with a $2 super chat. 15,000 watching says how much we wanted this news.
Yeah,
but
I think so. This is welcome news for Canadians. Absolutely.
D. Mercier with a $14 super chat. Thank you very much, Stella. And PD Bulldogs with a $14 super chat. Trudeau is lying right down to the very end. Shameless displays from this man-child. Western Body with a $2 super chat. 15,000 watchers, about 15 minutes behind. Al Pipke with a $10 super chat. Would a line of moving trucks showing up at Rideau driven by truckers constitute a convoy? Maybe. And Win Terrian, welcome to NP supporter. Thank you very much. Ministry of Lies with a $10 super chat. lying, serving his puppet masters to the bitter end. They're all still gonna crash. Guys, keep up the good work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Andrew Lepenzi with a $2 super chat. JT committed crimes punishable by D35th in the USA. Ken Bowers with a $5 super chat. Is he hoping to win an Oscar for his performance?
It was pretty bad, so I hope not.
Yeah.
Maybe a Razzie.
Olga Blonsky with a $14 super chat. Don't worry about it getting messed up. I was getting tired of listening to his lies, even as he goes at the door. Right. Suna Soul Silver with a $5 super chat. I'm impressed, even though the questions are pre-picked. He's still messed up with the answer. It seems to be a requirement trait for Liberals and NDP.
Yeah, they do not have good orators.
And Angela Cardoso with a $50 super chat. So thank you very much. Does he regret tramping old Indigenous women with horses or freezing bank accounts of people he disagrees with? I detest this man with every fiber of my being. Yeah, and that reflects in the polls. 75% of, almost 80% of Canadians want an election, and I think 75% want him gone.
Well, he's gone now, and an election is coming.
Nux for Cup with a $5 super chat. I bet he regrets not changing the Liberal process now. Under their proposed changes, the Liberals would still have a chance. Now they are nothing. Yes, they are.
Yeah, 100%. And if you caught our little snippet of the interview with Bob Bertina that we put in last week's live stream, he had mentioned that, you know what, they won a majority the first time, and they decided that, no, we're not doing electoral reform. They felt like they were on top of the world and that they couldn't lose and that they didn't need to bother with it. And I bet they're regretting that decision now.
They immediately scrapped it. And no wonder this is why Trudeau said, I regret it, right?
Yeah, because I would not be surprised if they lost party status at this point. Bringing in a new leader might help them pick up a few extra seats, which is why, again, if you can get involved with your local party EDA, I really strongly encourage you to do so, because that gap is going to tighten and your EDA needs all the support that they can get.
George Schmidt with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Peter Legrisley with a $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Savage Silence with a $2 super chat. Freedom honk honk. Let's effing go.
Thank you for keeping it parliamentary.
Jenna Smith with a $10 super chat. He's a lesser evil than you, sir.
100%. You know, Pierre's not even evil. He's actually a really nice guy.
Yeah, and
I think he's very dedicated to this country and this vision of a better Canada. And the Liberals are just painting him as evil because they've got nothing else to go on.
Well, and the way the Liberals were going, look how bad the country has gotten. And their intent was to keep going, right? That's the problem. John Smith with a $2 super chat. Can we please call this a frolic in the snow? Yes. 280 with a $2 super chat. So this kills all bills, C-63 and investigations. All
Correct.
investigations are gone. All government bills are gone. The only things that remain are private members' bills.
But the Conservatives can reintroduce this in the next government.
Yeah, the investigations. They can do whatever they want. Ken Alberta with a $5 super chat. Thank God a real end is near. Absolutely.
That's right.
And Woody Doppelganger?
Yes.
With a $20 super chat. Hail the conquering gaslighter. Da 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 da. I wish he would stop telling Canadians what we need. He doesn't have a clue what we need. We need more freedom and less censorship from the circus we have had for a decade. And that's the thing. Like, he keeps saying, well, Canadians don't need this. Well, the polls disagree with you, Mr. Trudeau, because Canadians are now paying real close attention to this government, and that's why you are polling so badly. Claude Barrett with a $2 super chat. Here's the radical progressive rhetoric. Yep. Spiky Mikey 33 with a $5 super chat. I so badly want to see Pierre standing there eating an apple.
Like in the background.
Can you imagine?
That'd be
he
epic.
Just like tiptoes, like just behind him, just standing there.
Oh, you know, I bet a very talented video editor could probably like make that happen.
Probably. And Kyo with a 89 with a $2 super chat. JT, stop talking. Someone show him his jail cell.
Nice.
Karen and Grace with a member comment for 3 months. Turdy reminds me of Pharaoh in the book of Exodus. Yeah, he's definitely... Definitely has some similarities. George Schmidt with a $2 super chat. A BPD breakup and
Codependency recovery.
With a $2.79 super chat. Still basking in the spotlight of cluelessness too. Aaron
Oh, that's a tough one, Aaron. Sorry, Ganasker?
I think it's Nanasker. I think the G is probably silent.
Hopefully we didn't butcher that. Sorry.
With a $5 super chat. He avoided saying everyone in the Liberal Party suck by attacking Pierre. First smart thing he said. Yeah. AP's Rosary with a $28 super chat. Thank you very much. Thanks to Trudeau, Canada will need to deport millions. And Joe Salavati with a $2.79 super chat. Thank you very much. D-Ski, member for 12 months. Thank you so much for sticking around. How is it fair to prorogue the government with an election coming in the fall? Shame on the Governor General.
I think the election is actually going to come sooner than the fall.
Yep.
I think when they come back in March, there is either going to be a non-confidence vote with the throne speech, or they will...
Or they'll go right to an election.
Yeah, or they'll vote confidence just to let them kind of handle the estimates and everything that needs to be put in place by the 31st, and then they'll bring down the House.
Yeah. Ministry of Lies with a $10 super chat. Trudeau still hoping a global crisis will let him declare another emergency, cancel future elections. Same club of Rome trick used to force injections and mandate. No,
well,
incorrect.
He's not prime minister anymore, so that's not going to happen.
And he cannot declare an emergency. Parliament has to.
Right.
So with proroguing the Parliament, that can't happen.
But he can't even put forward the bill anymore because he's not prime minister anymore. Like, that's what that press conference was. He is no longer prime minister.
Like, I can't make it clear to people. He can't declare an emergency on his own. He can't declare war on his own. He can't do anything on his own of any significance when it comes to this.
Without the support of Parliament.
Yeah, and Parliament is not going to help him at all.
No, Parliament wants him gone like yesterday.
It is over, folks. So...
And he just resigned.
You don't need to worry about any of that stuff. And anyone telling you that he's still going to do that is lying for clicks. I will make it that clear. And Whiffirst SS with a $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Oh my God. Il est déconnecté. He is out to lunch, disconnected. I think he is to scare the NDP back into supporting them again and soften the blow for the next person.
That's a possibility, I think, that they might come back in and request support for the throne speech because, we have to get the estimates approved and we have to do this and we have to do that.
That would be a disaster.
It would completely annihilate the NDP party. So if they're dumb enough to fall for that, then they deserve to get annihilated. But yeah, it's all going to depend on what happens at that throne speech.
Foster Clock 279 with a super chat. Thank you very much. I need a shower after listening to this guy. And Rabu Sadies with a $2 super chat. Somehow I'm still expecting a piano to fall on him. Woody Doppelganger with a $5 super chat.
Yep.
I may be evil for this, but Trudeau tears make me giddy. Just go away now, JT. And
that seemed forced. Like, it didn't seem real.
yeah. Dudu with a $10 super chat. Have to ask, has Jagmeet's bills reached royal assent, or are they now gone? If they are dead in the water, this would be the best time for the Conservatives to go after the NDP supporting Trudeau. So if you mean like the citizenship, okay, so pharmacare has already passed.
Yeah, that's received royal assent. That received
Yeah.
royal assent in October, I think, when you were there. But I don't know if stage 2 of the dental care plan is its own bill or what the deal is with that, because sometimes they'll legislate the bills and it's like stage 1 has to be done by such and such a date, stage 2 has to be done by such and such a date. I would actually have to look at the bills and have a look and see.
So allegedly Pierre posted a response.
Yes, which we will get to after
Go ahead.
What's going to happen is, because we have an appointment for our son at 1:00 sharp, we need to stop at about 10:02. So we will read as many super chats as we can by then. Hopefully that's all of them. Then we'll attend our appointment for our son, and then we're going to do a video about Pierre. So we're not going to address it live right now, just because we have this meeting that honestly we've been waiting for 5 years, so we can't miss it.
So thank you, Neptune Raid 93 with a $2 super chat for that.
And thank you for Carolyn Ross with a $50 super chat saying, a narcissist has no conscience and will justify anything in their own mind. That's absolutely right. And that's why we can't let those people get in power, because we see the destruction that happens.
Steve Baker with a $10 super chat. Wait for him to come back in March and say they couldn't find a candidate and he's just going to stay on and maybe prorogue further to October. No, that's not going to happen. And friend Stone.
Sorry, I'm lost here.
Stand by. I'll see if I can get your full name here, Fred. YouTube's having a
fit. It keeps crashing
fit.
the browsers. We think that there's a memory leak, which is causing a lot of the issues here.
Fred Stonehouse with a $10 super chat. What happens to the increase in the carbon tax that is scheduled to go into effect April 1st? So that was already approved in a prior bill that the NDP voted on with the Liberals. So that is set to increase, unfortunately. And Krista M with a 279 super chat. Wayne Long just said, now we have a chance. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so YouTube skipped a whole bunch of super chats, I think. This is from Kate Canada. It's a $7 super chat. It says, could you guys name all the bills / policies that will be completely canceled due to prorogation?
Yep. So I think we went through a bunch of them.
We did go through a bunch of them, the significant ones. I will drop the link to Legisinfo in the chat, where you can ask it to search by bills in the current session, and then you can kind of filter it out by like bills at first reading, bills at second reading, etc., etc. There is quite a few of them, so unfortunately we won't be able to go through all of them right now, but if you give me 30 seconds, I will make sure that gets posted to the top of the chat.
Okay. And Pokey5587 with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Moment in history. Where were you? Me, sitting in my gray NP hoodie, watching live with NP Nation. Love Canada and heal. Canada will heal. His New Year's interview seems fitting. Yeah. Ironically, this is his New Year's interview. Tim Tracy gifting 50 Northern Perspective memberships.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. If you receive one of those, please make sure you say thank you. I have a few more. It looks like YouTube missed.
Looks like YouTube loaded a bunch for me that were missed before.
Yeah, YouTube's being a
Carolyn Ross with a $50 super chat. Thank you very, very much. A narcissist has no conscience and will justify anything in their own
Yep, that
mind.
one I had read.
And you read Kate Canada.
Yep.
And Dudu with a $2 super chat. And looks like the CBC is going bye-bye soon. Yep.
Yeah,
Carol
once
Rome.
the Conservatives get into power.
Carol Rome with a $5 super chat. Because it's prorogation, does that mean Carney can't bid for leader as he's not an MP? No, you do not have to be.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
You do not have to be an MP to be a leader of the party. Just look at the other political parties. Like, for example, Maxime Bernier. He's the leader of the PPC, but he's not a sitting
Doesn't
MP.
have a seat, yeah.
Right? So the political party structure is independent of whether or not you're an MP or not. So
if they elect somebody like Mark Carney as leader who does not have a current seat in the House of Commons, and then they come back from prorogation, survive the confidence vote after the throne speech, and he's declared the prime minister, he can be prime minister without having a seat in the House of Commons.
But he can't enter the House.
Yeah, and it's not common that this happens. And what happens, because he doesn't have a seat, is they will either go to election right away, or they will kick somebody out who's in a stronghold riding, and he will run in that riding in their place.
Yeah, it looks very, very, very badly, and the other political parties will ensure that everybody knows it looks badly to have a sitting prime minister who is not elected by the Canadian people.
Well, because the argument instantly is they had to get somebody from the outside to be the prime minister because all of their ministers, all of their MPs
are
currently
so
in the House are so horrible. Yeah.
Robert says with a $5 super chat, if only we could seize his bank account and take his passport now. Marco Peruza with a $5 super chat, wouldn't a leadership race create more division within the Liberal caucus with differing views and little time for Canadians to decide? Yes, it absolutely will. And it'll be very public because they have to convince their Liberal Party members publicly who to vote for. So it's going to be a dog's breakfast. M. Pascolin with a $28 super chat. Thank you very much. CBC has less than 2,500. That's interesting.
Viewers watching?
Super J Clone with a $5 super chat. Is it a good idea to join the Liberal Party to be able to vote the new leadership if you're a conservative? So you can only hold one party membership at one time.
But if you're just like me, who is conservative leaning, supports the Conservative Party, but is not a card carrying member, I think technically you can join the Liberal Party. I really don't know. Like, I don't want to be giving anybody bad advice. Be like, yeah, you should totally do it if, that's
Are you able to? Yes. Will it let you vote for them? Yes. And that's about all we'll say.
As far as we know, you can.
Dan N with a $5 super chat. I can't wait for Pierre's response to this. He's going to call out the Governor General for not going immediately into election. Yes, he probably will.
Yes, and we're going to record and drop that video after our appointment. Yeah.
Jay English with a $2 super chat. Thanks for the gifted sub from who? I appreciate it. Who knows at this point? Woody Doppelganger with a $2 super chat. Justin is not my PM, never was. Pierre Polyev for PM. Aubrey Ingram with a $5 super chat. Here's to citizen journalism. Thank you for all the hard work. 2025 is going to be a tough but interesting year. Yeah, and 2026, 2027, all the way until 2028.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of work to get Canada back to what we had under Harper. But again, we'll do it together.
BPD breakup and codependency recovery with a $2.79 super chat. Trudeau, worst prime minister in our history. Don't disagree.
No argument there.
Carol Rome with a $5 super chat. I've always said he was a turtle on a fence. Post-turtle.
Post-turtle, yeah.
No idea how he got there and a mess to get him down. Bliss and Change with a $2.79 super chat. People partying too early. The worst is to come. I'm not sure how, but it's that's definitely a take. D-Ski with a $2 super chat. Traders list. Yeah, we're expecting that to come out after the election, unfortunately. Platinum Sniper with a $2 super chat. C63, C322 dead. C322 is not dead.
Because it's a private member's bill. Yeah. But
it's unlikely anything's going to happen with it.
Yeah, I really don't think they're going to come back from this prorogation. And if they do, it's not going to be for very long. Yeah. Because, again, the NDP knows if they support the Liberals from this throne speech, it's going to make them look awful. Canadians will be livid.
Yep.
So I think that the government will fall on the 24th of March.
Jason Price with a $20 super chat. You guys now have more watching you than CTV Livestream. Go
awesome.
Team. Wow. Miles with a $2.79 super chat. Trump will love the Governor General of Canada resigning. Yes, he will. Or the Governor of Canada, yes. Goko Dani with a $5 super chat. My dark roast 3x3. Wow, you take a triple. Wow, tastes so much better with Liberal tears.
This is not a Gretzky.
Wouldn't that be a 3x3x3? Because you have 3 milk, 3 sugar, and 3
Liberal tears.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't take a Wayne Gretzky, which is 9-9. Ravi says with a $5 super chat. Poverty. It is also hard to count if you don't have an address. The Trudeau towns are going to be hard to count. That's a very good point.
Good point. Thank you.
And Leona, a member for 12 months. So 25% tariffs is just a few months because of incompetence. Possibly. We'll see what happens. Curdy with a $2 super chat. More people watching NP by 10 than CBC.
Awesome.
Itchy O'Malley with a $5 super chat. He hasn't resigned yet. He can call martial law again. No, he cannot.
He just resigned. That's what that press conference was. He's done.
He cannot call martial law. He cannot call emergency without parliamentary support. He cannot do it on his own.
I mean, Okay, I don't understand the naysayers, because you just saw with your own eyes the proof. You would think that would be good news. So why are you resisting?
Don't be black-pilled.
Yeah.
Don't be black-pilled. Woody Doppelganger with a $5 super chat. I'm glad he resigned, yet all he did was hightail and run like a coward. Slow clap for Justin Trudeau. That I can agree with.
At least he's out of here, right?
Platinum Sniper with a $2 super chat. Pierre just posted a video. Yep.
Yeah, we'll be addressing that. Probably we'll be recording around 2 o'clock, and it'll probably be posted around 3 to 4 o'clock.
Ken K with a $5 super chat. He resigns as PM so that he can become the governor of the 51st state. Can't be both. Minister of Lies with a $10 super chat. Trudeau's just stalling, delaying to destroy as much of Canada as possible, while hoping for a global crisis to justify emergency powers, keep him in power. No, as we said before, impossible. So you are completely incorrect. Hoof Art Ed with a $28 super chat. Finally, the long walk in the snow his stepdad took. Thanks, NP, for your hard work and personal sacrifice under this tyrant. Thank you so much. Mr. Excuses with a $2 super chat. Trudeau going to ski slopes to walk in the snow
with the snowshoes.
Oh, that's great. Just me, Nicole, with a $5 super chat. 17,000 in chat at 11:50 a.m. Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks
it's
for
crazy
the
that the daytime ones do better than the nighttime ones. Maybe because people are able to put on YouTube and like listen in the background during work. I'm not sure, but
could be. Pat Hollingworth with a $1.50 super chat. Thank you so much. Dale C with a $2.79 super chat. Thank you very much for that. Bryce Wade with a $20 super chat. Public non-confidence vote to get rid of these clowns. If the people can't remove their corrupt leaders, it's not a democracy. Keep up the good work, NP. Thank you very much. And Not One Tinker's Dam with a $10 super chat. Is it possible that the NDP won't vote non-confidence after the throne speech? If so, what would happen then? I have no trust in Jagmeet and the NDP. If they don't,
it's going to look super, super bad for
they're going
them.
to get crucified.
Yeah, like they will have fewer seats than the Green Party, I think.
And there's nothing left, right? There's nothing left for them to vote for. There's no political reason for them to vote for.
If you try to use the argument, we have to have the estimates or whatnot passed by March 31st. That's why we need to reconvene Parliament, blah, 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 blah. Okay, sure. But if you don't reconvene Parliament, it just kind of continues as it has been. So
we have people saying, no, he didn't resign. He just prorogued. Okay, people, I don't know what more you need to hear. He just said that he's announced his resignation. So I'm not sure what else you need to hear. He's resigning when the new Liberal leader is chosen.
So let me just say, the thing about this kind of anxiety and negativity is that it's a negative feedback loop, right? If it doesn't happen, well, you didn't lose anything. It hasn't happened yet, you can argue. So it's like this anxiety that it's coming, but it never comes. It's a psychological thing. It's a negative feedback loop that it can be quite dangerous to fall into. That's how people get anxiety disorders. Just try to be cognizant of the facts. Like don't go on your gut. Go on the facts. The facts are that man just stood there and said he's resigning and that we're proroguing Parliament. So what proof, what evidence, what hard evidence, not what I think might happen, what actual physical evidence do we have that he's not going to step down? Well, we don't have any right now.
And I get there's probably a lot of almost like Stockholm syndrome out there because
of what this government did to us.
And that's going to be the challenge to get out of that mindset. So.
Yeah, it is very difficult to stop that train of thinking. But it's very important because that's how we start to heal as individuals and also as a country.
So he's announced his resignation. He's resigning.
That's good news. Let's take that as good news.
Jerry Leet with a $2 super chat. If JT did such a great job, then why did he quit? Exactly.
Right. Because it's everybody else's fault. They can't see my mastery or some garbage, right?
Skyforge. Oh, there's a Skyrim player with a $5 super chat. So hypothetically, Trudeau has staved off his ouster for another 2 months. He's announced his end date.
It sounds like he's kind of going into interim leader mode.
Yeah.
While the Liberal Party picks its proper leader.
And nobody will take him seriously from here on out.
No, on the world stage, he's done. So,
Mr. G with a 279 super chat, can you explain exactly when we can see an election now? So basically what the scenarios are this is probably the most likely is that they come back on March 24th, a throne speech will be given by the Governor General based on the new Liberal Party's agenda, which is normal, and then that will be voted on by the House. If the House votes against that, then the government falls immediately and it goes to a general election. So that's a very possible scenario, and then the government would be funded thereafter. That's probably the most likely scenario because there's nothing left for the NDP to vote for to keep the Liberals in power. So, and then an election at the latest would be the end of May, probably the last Monday in May, because it has to happen on a Monday as well. And Brenda Specht with a $2.79 super chat. Thank you very, very much. Gold Snake with a $5 super chat. The first step of our country's healing.
Yes, absolutely.
John Soper with a $5 super chat. Trudeau should get out of Canada while he still can. Crystal Savage, welcome to NP supporter. Thank you. David Weeb with a $5 super chat. Get some PPC members voted in. Their platform is awesome for freedom and Canadians. After meeting Max many times, he's authentic for good values. Well, he's blocked us on Twitter just for asking questions, calling out. So that didn't give us a very great impression from him. But vote whoever you think has the best platform.
Well, and that's it. And that's why we say get involved in the EDA and the party that you support. I mean, we support the Conservatives. That's why we get involved in Conservative EDAs. Not one, but two now because we have a new riding. But whichever one that resonates with you, absolutely get involved because you can make a difference. As long as
you have an informed vote, I can't complain how you're going to vote. That's your democratic right to vote whomever you want. We don't want to demonize people that are voting for different parties because we want people to be involved in the process. The only thing that you could criticize is an uninformed vote, like mine was in 2015.
There you go.
Peter LaFontaine, welcome to NP supporter. Thank you very much. Ray B with a $10 super chat. Thanks for all the info and great commentary.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Barb Dressel with a $2.79 super chat. Thank you very much. Yodi Bear with a $2.79 super chat. I think Trump may have sped up this process.
Yeah, could be.
Dustin Moon with a $5 super chat. JT is a hero now. He saved Jagmeet's pension.
Teamwork, right, guys?
Yeah, he should take him out for dinner.
Oh, goodness.
Truth Seeker with a $2.79 super chat. Thank you very much. Matthew with a $2 super chat. Can he still use order in council with Parliament dissolved? Only for certain things. He can't change laws. He can't enact wars. He can't do anything that requires parliamentary consensus.
Yeah, they would have to reconvene Parliament.
Yeah. Jeannie Ham with a member comment for 5 months. Will they ever be held accountable for the crimes they've committed against Canada? How will Canada function until this is settled? So the government will function continuing on as it has. Like the agencies will continue doing the work of government.
They just won't be putting through any new bills or any new laws or doing any new investigations or continuing any of the ones that were currently in committee.
And, I wouldn't be surprised to see many changes within the RCMP after the Conservatives take power, and then you may see some old investigations reopened and all of a sudden some new evidence found. So we'll see what happens with that. So stay tuned. Jay Hawks 73, welcome back to NP supporter. Thank you very much. Share 1965 with a $14 super chat. It would have been better if the Governor General had refused the prorogation and insisted for a non-confidence vote. Yeah, that would have been preferable.
It would have. YouTube missed a couple. We have Diane Sylvain with a $100 super chat. Thank you very much, Diane. It says, Trudeau looked bitter to me. When do you think the Liberal leadership race will begin?
Immediately.
It's been a day so far. No more belittling Canadians by this dictator, as polls show majority of Canadians going for Pierre. The coward of the cottage has made an exit, stage left.
Yeah, the Liberals now have a clock ticking, the Liberal Party. So Liberal Party of Canada is going to have to decide what they're going to do. Are they going to appoint somebody, or are they going to elect somebody to be the leader of their party? If they're going to elect somebody, what that means is they need to amend their constitution, change the rules so that they can actually have somebody selected and elected by March 24th. It means they have to organize a national convention and organize all that. And then Liberal Party members from across the country are going to have to get their act together, book time off work, and figure out how they're going to get there. and then they're going to have to vote on this and get this done. Meanwhile, that you're going to have all these contenders throwing their hats in the ring, all of a sudden spinning up their own leadership races. It's going to be a mess.
Yeah, it is.
Over the next couple of months.
And we also have another Diane with a $50 super chat saying, I would like to start by thanking the trucker convoy for opening my eyes and getting me into politics. And thank you to you both, Ryan and Tanya, for keeping us informed. Great job, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And Doug Bones with a $14 super chat. Jeg Meat said if Trudeau does not resign, they will vote non-confidence. Trudeau just resigned. Therefore, NDP will continue to support Liberals, and we will not see an election until October. Incorrect, because after that, Jeg Meat put out a written statement. We covered this, where he said they will vote non-confidence no matter who is leading the Liberal Party.
Right. And the next non-confidence vote will be after that speech from the throne.
So
like, they cannot escape that one.
So make sure you have all the information so you make a proper assessment of what's going on. So that is where the NDP left it. And that's why we are confident that if the NDP does prop up the government, their party will be reduced to junk status. Even more than it already is. Barracuda 93 gifting 5 Northern Perspective memberships. Thank you very much. Just Me Nicole with a $5 super chat. What happens if the Libs elect new leaguers, say, in a week? It's unlikely that they'd be able to do it that fast because they have to, as we said, organize.
They have to run a
national
campaign.
convention.
It's like a mini election almost, but within the party.
Yeah. Unless the Liberal Board of Governors, this is not in the government, this is just in the Liberal Party of Canada, appoint somebody to be a new leader within the current caucus. That is possible.
But unlikely, I would say.
Well, it would be very bad from a Democratic perspective because that opens them up to criticism from all the parties, and but it would at least give that person time to kind of set their agenda and get the party in order. But we'll see what happens. And Alan 279 with a. Alan with a 279 super chat, still never voting Liberal. I don't blame you.
Both.
And Dan with a 279 super chat. Pierre just posted a quick response.
Yes, we're going to address that. You guys will probably see it posted between 3 and 4 o'clock. Space
Dave 2000 with a $2 super chat. Now, which clown will replace the Master Clown?
That's the question. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Dudu with a $5 super chat. Birthday is on the 8th, and Trudeau resigning is the best gift one can receive.
Excellent. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Danny Hebington with a €5 super chat, I believe.
No, that's pounds. That's
£5.
Yeah.
Watching from Scotland.
Awesome.
I'm so happy you finally rid yourself of that absolute fraud of a man. Good luck in the future. Thank you very much. And have some scotch on us. Steve Miska with a $10 super chat. Let's plan for a May election. That's
indeed
the most likely scenario.
That's my birthday, so let's get an election for my birthday.
And Suna Soul Silver with a $5 super chat. I can't trust our education system to even give us proper history due to how much corrupt it is right now. Yeah. Truth Seeker with a $7 super chat. The next leader would have a Kamala Harris problem. What makes you different from JT? What are your opinions on that take? I think very true.
Yeah, if they get somebody from the outside like Mark Carney, I think that's going to be less because it's like, well, I wasn't here, but he kind of was because he was helping direct the fiscal policy. Yeah. But otherwise, you're absolutely correct.
Well, like the only person who would be able to do that is somebody like Christy Clark because she wasn't
completely detached.
Yeah. But Mark Carney agreed to be a part of this Liberal government kind of when he was in this financial, advisor role, meaning he supported the policies, he supported the financial decisions, he supported all of that. So that would be difficult, but great observation. MarkMe29 with a $10 super chat. Liberal insiders probably threatened to leak incriminating information on Trudeau to get him to resign instead of taking us to election to spite his rebel caucus.
That's one theory.
Prime Paradox 78 with a $5 super chat. I want him to resign, but I want to fire him more. I feel robbed. I agree.
Yeah, but you know what? Anyway, you slice it or dice it. This is a good day for Canadians. We have Hugsy COD with a $50 super chat. Thank you very much. It says, thank you both for being my main news source. It's a great day in Canada today. I'm a lifelong Alberta raised conservative, and my only ask of you is that you hold us to the same standard you held the Liberals. I have no doubt you will. That's right. We absolutely will.
100%.
Because again, Canada first, right? Canada is where my loyalty lies, not to some political party or some politician.
Jeannie Hem with a $7 super chat. Once Trudeau is completely out, can he be called to committee? He can be summoned to committee and he has to attend unless he's out of the country.
Right.
DMAC Roti, member for 7 months, wondering how long we will have to put up with the carbon tax. Thank you, Ryan and Tanya and NP Nation. If I were Pierre, the first day I'm in office is a order in council to reduce the carbon tax rate to 0%. He can do that, and then they would wait for the bill to actually repeal the carbon tax to go through. That's how fast it could happen. And according to the Canadian Taxpayer Federation, which we had on, it would be a matter of weeks before you'd start to feel that. Jake with a $5 super chat. Wonder if his plan was to fire Freeland so she can get pity points for the next election. I doubt it. That would be him thinking of somebody else over himself. Delta Stingray with a $5 super chat. Now that Parliament is suspended, the Libs now have the time to shred all the evidence before the election. I doubt it. Prime Paradox with a $7.88 super chat. $2 super chat. Holy goodness. Basket Hound 2 with a $5 super chat. Thanks for everything you guys do for us Canadians. Keep on trucking. Thank you very much. Platinum Sniper with a $2 super chat. Please let the Liberals get Kim Campbell. Oh, I think they will. Gladys Horse with a $10 super chat. The best late Christmas present ever. So relieved, and thank you both for helping me to understand the politics of politics. You were
Oh, it's
so
our
welcome.
pleasure.
Michael N with a $5 super chat. Trudeau did not resign. He said he would resign once there is a new leader. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Something stinks. Stay vigilant.
You guys are reading too much into this. This should be celebrated. This shouldn't be, just prophesized into doom. Like, this is a good day for Canada.
Stuart Taylor with a $10 super chat. Thanks for what you do. You are very welcome. Nillik, member for 12 months. I really hope Jagmeet doesn't use this as an excuse to continue to support the government now that Trudeau resigned like they specifically asked. Again, he put out a statement afterwards. He didn't go in front of the cameras. He put a written statement, and that's worse than actually going in front of the cameras and saying it doesn't matter who is leading the Liberal Party. They are going to bring them down. So it's up to the NDP to either abide by that or risk political oblivion. Soon a Soul Silver with a $5 super chat. Liberals, quote, how do we fight against Pierre? Let's do the same thing the U.S. Democrat did in their elections and name-calling and fake news. Yeah.
Right.
Let's see what happens. Sherry Lankinen, welcome to NP supporter. Kaylin Herget with a $2 super chat. Just got here. Please catch me up. I'm a longtime fan. Just rewatch it.
Yeah, as I say, unfortunately, we have to leave in a couple minutes because we have an appointment we've been literally waiting for our son for 5 years. So just hit the rewind when we're done.
Conservative government. So.
Yeah.
Active Puck with a $7 super chat. Thank you very much, Trudeau. The politics of failure have failed. We need to make them work again. Yeah. True Seeker with a $7 super chat. The next leader would have a Kamala Harris problem. What makes you different from JT? That's the pothole for the Liberals. It certainly is. Yep. Scarlet Bones with a $5 super chat. How much did it cost Canadians to bribe the Governor General? Better the truckers convoy would be happy to help JT with a sign on the truck F food Trudeau. And Anna Stein
Hammer's daughter
with a $10 super chat. Looking forward to your future as top Canadian media source.
Thank you.
We'll try.
We do what we can.
Neptune Rain 93 with a $2 super chat. And actually, I'm caught up to those. And Tim Tracy, member for 1 month. Wow, 11,000 likes. Vesper Digital with a $5 super chat. I will miss you all. The Clown Prince is gone. It has been a pleasure working with you guys and all Canadians. Picard and Dathan at Electoral. Wife for Life with a $5 super chat. It's been a long ride, folks, but we made it to the end. Now we can just let the dominoes fall into place. Yeah. Yvette Dagonet with a $5 super chat. Really good start to the new year. Coward. He didn't want to debate with Pierre. I love the show. I watch every day. Great job, Ryan and Tanya. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Randy Platt with a $3 super sticker. Thank you. David Young with a $10 super chat. I think we need some kind of law that people have a say when millions of people say enough. 100%.
Yeah, we do need recall legislation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The Crazy Canuck with a $7 super chat. My child has ASD. As I understand how long the waiting is. Him first, us later. Thank you.
Thank you for understanding.
Marie Perrin with a $2 super chat. To run, they said you need to pay $250,000.
To run for what?
Yeah, I'm not understanding that. Because to run as an MP, it's
Well, you're supposed to raise the money. Like, you don't pay it out of your own pocket. You fundraise.
Yeah.
As the leader for a leadership race, you're probably trying to put out like commercial type videos and stuff like that on social media so people see it and then come vote for you. So I could see the price tag being that high, but it's not out of your own pocket. You have to go and fundraise. And that's what made Justin Trudeau, as much as we dislike him, that's what made him a good campaigner, is he was able to get the money.
Yeah. BPD breakup and
Codependency recovery.
With a $7 super chat. Your fantastic channel, way more viewers than CTV. Well deserved. Thank you so much. Barb Dressel with a $7 super chat. So who is in charge of the country now? Technically still Trudeau, but he's a lame
Sounds like
duck
he's the
prime
interim
minister.
leader
Yeah.
now.
And Fugo Schaff with a $7 super chat. So long, Trudeau. Would say I'd miss you, but I'd be taking notes from your playbook of lies, BS, and narcissism.
Nice.
Prime Paradox 78 with a $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Peter LaFontaine with a $5 super chat. Just joined your membership. If you want some insight into Mark Carney, read his book, Values, Building a Better World for All, Another WEF Elitist.
Thank you for the recommendation.
And the Arctic Gamer 59 with a $2 super chat. Pierre's campaign attack ad is pretty corny. The Contrarian with a $7 super chat. Thank you very much. Carl Pierce with a $2 super chat. NP, aka Pixels Only fan. Thanks for the stream. Amazing.
Hey, she's a single mom. She's got to, support herself somehow.
Insanity Schmidt with a $5 super chat. A great day for Canada, celebrating with a glass of white wine from Peely Island.
Thank
Awesome.
you. Peely Island Chardonnay. Very
And
nice.
Prime Paradox 788 with a gifted Northern Perspective membership. Thank you very much for that. And Ubatam with a $2 super chat. Elizabeth May for PM.
She could try.
Tobble 67. Well, technically, she's trying to run to be prime
For
minister.
something, yeah.
Tobble 67 with a $5 super chat. I suppose he is waiting till the end of March, so there is less snow for his long walk. There you go.
I think they don't want to campaign in the snow right now, and I also think they need that leadership race.
Yep.
So
Mark Mima with a $1 super chat. Thank you very much. Jason Barrett with a $2 super chat. Pixel's rear end should be the main Liberal poster pick. Milk Toba with a $5 super chat. Now Canadians will suffer while the failed Liberal Party try and get their act together. Meanwhile, tariffs, carbon taxes, deficit spending, etc. continue.
yeah, I think this was somewhat irresponsible to prorogue Parliament instead of just going to an election, but there's nothing we can do about it now.
The Contrarian with a 279 super chat. What can be legislated by an order in council? There's a bunch of things, like you can change things within already legislated bills, but you can't fundamentally alter the bill, right? So like an example we gave earlier is an order in council could change the carbon tax rate, but it can't remove the carbon tax.
Right.
Carbon tax is still there. You can set the rate to 0, or you can increase it if you really wanted it to.
I think the GST would also be an order in council, would it not? Like if you said, okay, we want 4% instead of 5%.
I believe so. Insanity Schmidt with a $2 super chat. Love your kitty also. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Rick Robitaille, member for 10 months. Best news in a decade. Yes. Can't tell or lost.
Los Federales, maybe?
Could be. With a $2 super chat. Today we ripped off the Band-Aid. Tomorrow we heal. Great attitude.
Very well said. Thank you.
Wood Doppelganger with a $2 super chat. Your empathy is amazing, guys. Very endearing. Thank you.
Thank you. We do what we can.
We get frustrated too sometimes. More me, I think, than Tanya.
I'm a little more stoic.
Miles with a 279 super chat. Early election by May. The black pillars are here. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I think at the latest it's going to be May. I think. Prime Paradox 788 with a $5 super chat. Someone else mentioned this. I want to highlight it. Justin said he intends to step down. He intends.
Oh, come on, guys.
Come
on. Yeah, I don't think we're going to entertain any more of this. Oh, well, maybe he could. It was very obvious in the video that he's stepping down and they're doing a leadership race. Why would they do a leadership race if he's not stepping down?
And Mike A, because I keep butchering your last name, with a $5 super chat. I will not believe it until I'm physically casting my ballot. DC with a $10 super chat. Not negativity, just a question. His exact words, he intends to step down. This means he is still the PM. How does he need Parliament to support to make decisions? I'm just wondering how this works. Because in our parliamentary system, in order to do anything new, so declaring an emergency would be new, declaring war would be new, calling a national emergency would be new. He needs the support of Parliament. it's very different from the United States, where a president has a lot more power than the prime minister. This is why a lot of Americans like a lot of these pieces of our system, because the leader of the country can't just unilaterally do a lot of these really powerful things by himself. Now, in the United States, the president can't declare war without the support of Congress, so it's very similar. So there's not a lot Justin Trudeau can do, and no one is going to take anything that he says seriously, because he's a lame duck guy just keeping the seat warm. That's it. So, and he's announced to everyone that he intends to step down. It's going to happen.
He's like the interim leader right now. Like they're calling a leadership race. Parliament has been prorogued. There's nothing he can do. I mean, the only thing he can do really is go to the Governor General and say dissolve Parliament instead, or we need to reconvene Parliament before that March 24th date that I gave. And that's the powers of the Prime Minister.
And if you just disconnect yourself from the emotional side, it may make more sense to have the current prime minister as the interim leader, rather than him stepping down, giving it to somebody else, and then having another leadership race, and then having somebody else. So you have 3 prime ministers within 3 months.
Yeah.
So,
it's going to be cheaper too.
And Mike A with a $2 super chat, way to get out of handing over the SDTC documents. Exactly. Canadian RC pilot with a $14 super chat. Well, he gouged the Canadian taxpayers when he took over the ski resort with his security entourage. He cares nothing for Canadians as he continued to live lavishly on Canadian taxpayers. Yeah. And he spent, like, he paid for the vacation himself, but he spent all Canadian taxpayer money on
security. Yeah. We have D with a $10 super chat. Thank you very much.
Ministry of Lives with a $10 super chat. Even if he can't declare emergency as PM, unprecedented crisis would warrant similar response from Parliament. Can justify suspend elections.
No, it can't.
No, it can't, guys.
We've already discussed this. We discussed this again on Sunday on our live stream. So if you'd like an explanation, you can go check that out.
To suspend the elections, they have to write to the king.
This is from Caitlin. It's a $28 super chat. It says, thank you both for all your hard work and coverage. Ding dong, the bee is gone. Thank God Bill C-63 is dead in the water.
And it looks like I'm almost to the end. Caitlin with a $28 super chat. Thank you both for all your hard work and coverage. Oh, yeah, that's what you
I just read that, yeah.
Local Baron with a $5 super chat. My dad really likes Dominic Carty. Do you think the CFP could replace the Liberals like Reform did in the 90s and 2000s? If they get their act together,
maybe
really sort out their platform, I would say maybe in 4 to 8 years they could have a shot. But
historically, it takes a very, very long time for new parties to even get a seat. Like it took the Green Party 30 years roughly. And I mean, the PPC has been around since, what was it, 2017, I think, possibly, and they don't have a seat yet. So it takes a very, very long time with our current first past the post system.
So it depends on how committed they are to actually making this work. If they're really, really committed, then eventually they may be able to make some headway. Brian75 with a $5 super chat. So glad you guys did a live stream. I was watching CBC and Rosie looked like she was going to cry. Thankful I didn't have to keep watching that.
Nice.
Glenn Stewart, the $2 super chat. Family first and Canada next.
Thank you for understanding.
Tony Knapp, welcome to MP supporter. Ray B with a $2 super chat. Pierre won the debate on Jordan's podcast. Ferda Accuracy with a $7 super chat. Foxtrot Juliet Tango FJT. That's basically what that means. Claude Barrett with a $5 super chat. I was also an uninformed voter in 2015. Never again. There was a bunch of us. Mystery of Lives with a $10 super chat. Canadians must recognize it's not only Trudeau. It's not over. Don't relax your guard.
Well, and that's what we're saying. Democracy is not a spectator sport. Absolutely get involved. Don't just assume that the next guy who comes along is going to do what's right for Canada. Stand on top of them. Write your MP. Go to their events. Talk to them, develop a relationship with them. And that way, when they vote for something that you're against in the House, you can talk to them and say like, hey, listen, that's really against what the community wants, what I want, etc., etc. And you have that dialogue.
And keep watching Parliament, keep watching committee, keep watching us because we'll be covering it. And then when the government does pass something that you agreed with, celebrate. Like,
yeah, and write your MP when they do something awesome too. Mm-hmm. Like they love that stuff. You might not get a response, but absolutely the staff will show them your email.
But there's very little that Justin Trudeau can do while Parliament is prorogued. Like, and there's nothing of any significance he can do without the support of Parliament. Kebby with a $2 super chat. Would they be able to delay the leadership race? If So
I'm not sure what their constitution is.
Well, one possibility that they could do is they could appoint an interim leader, let them waltz into the election, get slaughtered, and then hold a proper leadership race afterwards. That's a possibility as well. And Adam Canadian with a $2 super chat, put my flags on my truck right away. Proud day.
Awesome.
And Julie B with a $2.79 super chat. Thank you very much. And I think that's
it for us, folks. Thank you so much. We're off to an appointment, and you will see that PR video from us later this afternoon. So thank you for joining us for this amazing, unprecedented news. This is a historic day for Canada. This is the day that we start to heal. So get involved, support your preferred candidate, support your local EDA, and let's turn this around.
Because your EDAs are going to be ramping up very, very quickly. There's going to be campaign meetings. There's going to be calls out for volunteers. Every EDA across the country is going to be needing lots and lots of help. So,
well, because they're prorogued, they're going to be door knocking, and they're going to be door knocking in force, and they're going to need your help. Yep. So get involved.
Anyway, that's it for us. We have 8 minutes to get ready for our appointment. So thank you everybody for joining us, and stay tuned for this afternoon as we provide our coverage of Pierre's response in our next video. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you in the comments.
Thank you. Good night.